现在我宣布，2015北京现代音乐节开幕。Open.
Spring is a busy season for Ye Xiaogang as he prepares for the Beijing Modern Music Festival, where he has been artistic director since its founding in 2002. Ye is also vice president of China's Central Conservatory of Music, from which he graduated, as well as the newly elected chairman of the Chinese Musicians Association. He's one of China's most acclaimed contemporary composers. His works, including symphonic music, chamber music, and film scores, are played by orchestras and ensembles around the world. Good to see you, Professor. Welcome to ICON.
Okay, thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Well, we've always wanted to have this interview with you, but you are always busy. We tried for like 2 months to arrange this interview.
Yeah, this 2 months, I'm extremely, terribly, the schedule is too tight, really too tight.
So what is making you so busy now? What are the projects?
Yeah, because of the opera, the opera Yongle. It's like you have a deficit, okay? Like you own so many people, and you have to, in the last minute, you have hand in all your efforts. It's like a very difficult moment for me, You have to finish the opera. I have to finish Beijing Modern Music Festival. I'm artistic director. All the musicians coming all over the places, international, China, inside of China. I have to say hello to everyone. Yeah, but it's a really professional job. You have to do this.
Yeah.
That's cost me time, Another point is I have teaching. Okay.
You still teach, yeah.
I'm teaching postdoc, doctor, master degree, undergraduate.
From undergraduate to postdoctor.
So it's a lot of job to do that. It's a lot of work you have to, especially when you see the ethics. It's very, very hard to work. You have to check one by one, word by one word.
It's always work and one project after another. Are you a workaholic?
Sometimes I would like to say that, yes.
What do you enjoy most in being so busy?
I would like to say I'm not enjoy. I cannot say these words because I have no choice. Okay, you're in this point. In your life career, you use this point, very particular point. I'm going to 60-year-old. You are really establish yourself. This kind of age for a composer is very important. The last 100 years, how many composers really established? The living composers, if you got such big honor, sometimes it means nothing. You have to wait until time is really passing. If you're still good, okay, you are good. If you're just temporarily blowing, oh, you got a lot of achievements. It doesn't count. It doesn't work. I went to Tibet many times. I composed so many Tibetan series.
Light of Himalaya.
Light of Himalaya, Twilight of Himalaya, Twilight of the Tibet, and the Horizon, and the 9 holy lakes of Tibet. Each lake I wrote, composed a piece. So I really enjoy it. But when you went to Tibet, you see the people's life. You see how the way their life, how impact your thoughts. Really, it really comes to my music.
In the eyes of many people, your peers, to them, you've already proved yourself long time ago, even in the 90s, not to mention
80s.
to now.
Oh yeah, I'm in the 80s.
Even in the 80s.
I already celebrity.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there are also people accusing you not focusing on music enough. Basically, because you have so many different titles. You're the co-founder of the Modern Music Festival. You're the vice president of this Central Conservatory of Music. You're now the chairman of Chinese Musicians Association. They say this is a distraction. It does no good to you being a pure musician. What do you have to say to them?
I say no. I say they don't understand. Because if you really want to be a good musician, you couldn't forget everything, just on what you have to do, okay? For instance, composing an opera. Of course, every day you work for the notes, right? Yeah. We say we're working for food, right? Or sometimes we say that. But if you have good experience, you will make a difference. For instance, Yongle, okay? It's really Chinese court story, in a royal story, full of struggle, full of sadness, full of very complicated relationship between people. But if you don't have such experience, how do you make music right? I would like to say Yongle is really made by myself. I really want to do this. Because why? Because I'm experienced for that.
Experienced in
the complicated society life.
In observing the society.
Yeah. This is inspire me, okay? Really inspire me. So why is so much complicated struggle in the court, in the royal family? Really make myself, think. Why? Yeah. So I put all these feelings in my music.
All the job that you do, other than being a professor as a composer, musician, other jobs are all very time-consuming too.
Yes.
That's why you have to work very hard. Yeah. Does that also kind of distract your efforts in composing, composition?
Of course. Sometimes, of course, really do. That's frank to say that because you have a very boring conference. You have to stay there. But
that's part of life.
It's part of life. And I wear the glass and close my eyes.
Well, looking back now, I think I'm very, very lucky to have Professor Ye as our teacher in our freshman year. He didn't spend all the time to train us about the composition technique, although he did a lot. But still, he pushed us, into thinking, something beyond, the simple technique.
He's a really good composer. He's a very solid and also quite romantic. He writes, but also modern. He writes very beautiful music. Since I know him, he started his own style and continually only just get better.
Although he's busy with his working, his management, his teaching as a professor in the conservatory, and he has never forget his own job. Yes, maybe the most important job, compose.
An abrupt change in the political landscape detained Ye Xiaogang on a farm for a year and then for 6 years in a factory. But music never abandoned him. During the Cultural Revolution, he kept practicing piano every day because he believed one day things were going to change. You may look, like a professor, academic professor, but inside your heart, you're still that I man.
Yeah.
Where did you get that?
I think my life, my family, myself, through all, from very difficult moment of our country. Cultural Revolution, my father is very brilliant young musician
in Hong Kong.
In Hong Kong, handsome and full of honors. Every day his activity appeared in newspapers. My father is really good scholar. He is so smart. 4 languages: English, Japanese, German, and Russian. And he can translate the books, the political books, the theory books. And the novel, he could translate all 4 languages. This I never could capture his level. he is smart. He's really, really smart. And of course, he did all kinds of composition in the last 10 years in his life. He did all forms of the opera, musical, symphonic work, chamber works. He did his best. During the Cultural Revolution, I take a test I'm a worker, do the bench work. So for 6 years, it's my very best age, okay, in the very young.
How old were you at the time?
17.
17.
Yeah, 16 to 17. 16 to 22, and 6 years. Or 17 to 22, 6 years for that. You know, I take all the tests for the army group, like Xiaogang, okay, like Kongzheng. They are all army artists, group for the art.
You were denied.
Yeah, they denied because not of my level of art. It's my
political background.
Yeah,
because your father was being checked at the time, being examined.
So I faced very, very difficult time. But my father one day told me that, okay, family cannot help you at all. Your future, you have to by yourself. I still remember when I was 18, 17 years old. My father told me that.
I can imagine those must be all these challenging, difficult years, sometimes even desperate years for you, for the whole family. Yeah. But, being told by your father, you have to fight actually a way out for yourself with your own efforts.
Yeah.
Maybe that is why you kept the piano. You kept practicing your piano, even in those hot days, and working in a factory for that 6 years.
Yeah.
How many hours did you spend on practicing piano?
I practice 2 hours every day.
Every day?
Yeah. Sunday, I practice piano like 8 hours or 12 hours until my neighbor threw the stones to our windows.
They complained about the noise.
Terrible, terrible,
At the time, it was still in the Cultural Revolution era, and people, most of them, didn't actually know where to go, what would happen for the country, for my life. I guess it was the same thing to you. Why did you still keep practicing that hard?
I think one day it's going to be changed. I'll write a novel, very famous novel named John Christoph. They are very famous sayings, do your best. It's really influenced me until now. I would like to tell you something. The people around me, for instance, my bench work, they're workers. They all know Xiaogang is going to do something in the future. They are very support me. They do my work because when they have a chance to have a performance for the workers, they support me very much. They take my work.
Probably they didn't know much about music, but they did feel the beauty.
This guy is going to do something in the future.
And you did?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I feel very appreciated from all. Each time I went to Shanghai, back to Shanghai, we always getting together.
You're still in contact with them?
Yeah, still.
That's lifelong friends?
Lifelong friends.
Your father must be so proud of you. You had all those mature composition works. Even as a student, you were seen as one of the top 4, talented students in conservatory music.
Yes.
I guess your father must be super proud of all your achievements. But somehow, he wrote a letter, a public letter, that was published on a newspaper. What was the main message of that letter to you?
He just warning me, don't think you're already big enough. You have a long way to go. Don't lose yourself. Don't get lost. You're too early. You're nothing. That's what it really meaning. I'm very sad my father died in 1997. It's too early. He didn't see afterwards more success than before around the country and around the world. I very regret he didn't see that.
If you had the chance to talk to your father again, what would you tell him?
I don't know. Maybe I'm still on the way. I'm not good enough yet. oh, this guy is fantastic composer. How come he couldn't speak English? The whole country is like huge developing. Everybody was so ambitious. We are going to be something really new. The whole China. I think, okay, maybe I should back. The Chinese music is now influenced the world one step by one step because of us. You know, Pandun, we got Oscar. Did in Lincoln Center my own composition concert. You know, even American composers cannot do this.
The class of '78 at the Central Conservatory of Music was the first batch of graduates after the Cultural Revolution. Along with the year, it fostered great talents who would go on to write the modern history of Chinese classical music, including Tan Dun, Guo Wenjing, and Qu Xiaosong. Along with almost all his classmates, Ye went overseas after graduation to continue his studies. In 1987, he enrolled at the Eastman School of Music at the University of Rochester in New York.
When I was take a competition, you know, because I cannot speaking anything in the class, you know, the U.S. class, you know, have to discuss, right?
That's right.
Everybody has to express your own opinion.
Yeah.
Upon whatever the subject is.
You kept silent.
I'll keep silent. I'll in the very dark corner, stay here. Everybody ignore me because who is this guy? He couldn't say maybe he is an idiot. Maybe he is a stupid guy. But after everybody was handing the composition,
Yeah.
they surprised. Oh, this guy is fantastic composer. How come he couldn't speak English? That's what they said. Then I get respect.
What did you learn from America? Because I guess the education system in China and in America, they must be different.
And at the time is very different because we are very lacking information.
Yeah.
They are all information of the world. You in the library, you listen to the record, LP, CDs. You're just facing an ocean. Okay, yes, exactly. So I just drown myself inside. Okay.
6 years and then another 2 years as a freelance composer. In 1994, that's when you decided to come back.
It's very random because it's as a musician, sometimes you think, okay, make a decision so quick, without deep thinking, you know. They say, Xiaogang, there is a award called Lee Foundation from San Francisco. They offer a big award for Chinese student come to the United States for study, but already offered for about 6 years. Nobody go back. Now we changed the policy. Who is going back? We give him award.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay, I say. But during '93, '92, I back Beijing already many times. The whole country is like huge developing. Everybody was so ambitious. We are going to be something really new. The whole China. I think, okay, maybe I should back.
In 1994, Ye Xiaogang came back to his home country after 8 years away.
Schools treated me really well at the time. When now it's about 8 years, my salary is still keeping. That was very little money, but 30 几块, about 30 yuan something a month. But they keep 8 years.
It showed their sincerity of welcoming you back.
Welcome. They show me, okay, your 8 years salary is still there. They give it to me.
Everyone is saying China is going to influence world classical music industry. How do you think that is going to happen?
I still take time. We are just first step. It's better than nothing, better than before. It's much, much better than before. Now we are, at least we have several Chinese composers or Chinese musicians starting to influence the world. For the pianist Lang, you know.
Right.
He is so good, so genius, talented, and a powerful musician. The culture needs exchange. After exchange, your culture will
flourish.
Flourish, yes, yes. This is the point. During the past time in Tang Dynasty, exchanges a lot for the West. You know,
It's crucial to have the
really,
exchanges and
this
interactions.
really make you a difference.
Gustav Mahler's Sounds of the Earth is a symphonic masterpiece inspired by poems from China's Tang Dynasty, and Ye Xiaogang's adaptation was performed by the Detroit Symphony Orchestra at New York City's Lincoln Center. It was also the first time in decades that the leading U.S. orchestra devoted a concert to the works of a single composer from China.
The Chinese music is now influenced the world, one step by one step, because of us. You know, Tandon, he got Oscar. I did in Lincoln Center my own composition concert. You know, even American composers, they cannot do this.
That's Lincoln Center,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Afterwards, they asked me, how do you do that? How do you make it? They asking me, the American composers. I say, because of my music, I have such confidence. I think I will be succeed. Finally, it's real because got so many good reviews, and I see my big, huge poster outside of Lincoln Center. They are in the banner, you know.
That's right.
Yeah, I see that. I think, okay, finally I made it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's at least one of the stories you can tell your father, you know.
Yeah. You can see the music. Wow, it's so beautiful. And you really, if your heart is broken, but you listen to such great music, your tears will come to your eyes.
Now you have one more position as the chairman of Chinese Musicians Association.
The new China, since 1949, only 5 chairmen. I'm number 5.
What is the goal that you have, that you've set for yourself?
Yeah, I would like to be a composer that really makes something for this. This is my goal. This is why I work so hard.
Jade Goddess of Mercy, a TV series about a woman's struggle between love and duty and a police drug team, swept across China in 2003. One reason for its phenomenal success was Ye Xiaogang's heart-stirring soundtrack. There are people saying, well, Ye Xiaogang, he's a genius, he's very talented, but it seems he spends too much time on
some other things.
Other things. They were referring to your efforts in writing for movies, for dramas, and they're saying, well, this is not serious music.
No, this is, I would like to say negative. This is serious music. One of my music, Goddess of Jaipur, this music really
touches people.
Nobody can do that. I did. Yeah. This is serious considered composed music. It's not just, okay, it's film music, just for money. No.
It's not.
That music, I didn't earn anything. Maybe 200 yuan something. You know, I spent all the money they offered to the recording. I want to make music better. This is really touching people, you know. So if someone say, okay, why he didn't spend more time writing a serious music, rather than, you know, the film music. but you see the effects, final results, which one is better. I think the piece, the suite we play at least lasting next 50 years. People still like it. Music is like a fountain, okay? It's really, you know, cooling down your mind. It gives you a so beautiful imagination. How beautiful the life it will be. You can see the music. Why it's so beautiful. And you really, if your heart is broken, but you listen to such great music, your tears, you will come to your eyes.
Now you have one more position to exert more influence on the development of the music industry in China as the chairman of Chinese Musicians Association.
The new China, since 1949, only 5 chairmen. I'm number 5.
What does it mean to you personally?
Probably more. You have to spend more time to taking care of, look after all things for the nation. This is my task.
Not just your own, your personal career.
No, it's not this is my concern. It's not my own career now. It's all the nations. You know, the China become a very powerful country. We are musicians. The Chinese music must be very powerful. We will influence the world. This is our task. I will agree with this. You know, in China we have a brilliant history. So great in the history, in Tang Dynasty, even in Song Dynasty. We are culture is like an influence to the whole world. But in recent 200 years, we are much behind. Much in the position is not so good. But now we have chance now.
What is the goal that you have, that you've set for yourself?
Yeah, I would like to be a composer that really makes something for the history. This is my goal. This is why I work so hard. You know, I do my best. Don't give up any chance to work, because if you have a small project, big project, a mid project, all kinds of different projects, sometimes film music, sometimes symphonic works, sometimes opera, sometimes chamber music. You try everything. You do your best to see which one you can get really in high peak. Sometimes not. You work even harder, but it doesn't work sometimes. I know that. So that's why I don't give up. Mostly I don't give up any chance.
Yeah, all the best wishes.
Okay. Well,
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your stories.